Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Tilson Live. It is Tuesday. It is 2 o'clock. We are live on YouTube, live on Facebook, as we are each and every single week, to talk about all things building on your land. If you are considering building a custom home on your land and you don't know what to do or what to do next or where to start, congratulations. You have stumbled upon, it is divine intervention. It's providential. You have stumbled upon the best resource you possibly could for building a custom home on your land in Texas. So I'm Eric Allard, part of the fourth generation of the Tilson family, welcoming you as we do each and every single Tuesday with the best, the brightest, the one with the actual plan. Dawn Dantzler, Vice President Marketing Customer Experience for Tilson Homes. Good afternoon, Dawn.
Hey, Eric. How's it going?
Well, I think we can all tell we have a different camera angle, so
it's a little bit. Yeah, yep.
Technically,
Kevin's asking.
It's technically difficult. So yeah, I don't know, Kevin. I don't know what happened. I was at one of our offices this morning doing some meetings. Came back to my office, connected, and the camera that I typically use, which is over yonder, is like, nah, bro, not today. I'm still on Labor Day weekend. So, anyway, this is the angle you get. The guitar and Tilson logo are all still there. Everything as it should be, but you get a different logo today. You get this one. So anyway. Grateful to have you all here. We're here to talk about all things building on your land. Again, we are with Tilson Homes. It is Tilson Tuesday. It is 2 o'clock. We are live on YouTube, live on Facebook to talk about all things custom building a home on your land. If you have questions about customization, site preparation, financing, construction, warranty, what is a culvert? What is a construction drive? How do I get a septic permit? How do I get a septic installed? These are all the things we're here to talk to you about. But while folks jump in and tell us all the main things, which is where you are watching from, where you're building, what part of the process you are in, we want to hear from you. Drop it into the comments, into the chat on YouTube, on Facebook. Dawn is going to tell us what we're actually talking about today. Dawn, what are we talking about today?
So it is, my favorite type of episode. We are going to show off a beautiful customer's home. So this time we are featuring a Livingston, which I believe this is the first time we've shown that home.
Might be, yes, it might be.
So very excited. It's in Burnet County and just absolutely gorgeous. So it's got those wonderful hill country views and just really excited to show that house because I love getting to show off what our customers do.
It is. I went in and checked out. Like I thought I recognized the view. And I was right. So I'm looking forward to thwarting my knowledge upon the masses here after a while. I don't get many chances to do that, so we're going to take advantage of that today. I did not properly answer Kevin's question. It is not a new mic. It is the same mic that I always use. It is definitely at a different angle, though.
Maybe just a different angle.
Yep. The Yeti Nano. I'm a big fan. Big fan of the Yeti Nano, which is funny because it's the smaller one, but I travel with the one that Dawn is using, which is the big Yeti. So yeah, which makes no sense at all because it's like 3 times the size of this one. But anyway, we are here to talk about all things building on your land. Obviously, we will get to this particular home, which I'm super excited about. Again, beautiful views, beautiful piece of property, all the things you love and know about these types of Tilson lives. Get to see what the customer did to make the home their own. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about all those things, ask all those questions. Want to do that? I see some questions already flowing into the chat.
Yes.
There's one that I believe maybe started with once upon a time. I don't know. Anyway, so it's quite long, and I'm gonna warn you ahead of time, Alexander, that it will not all fit in the shareable chat. Don won't tell you that.
Yes, but we will get there. But first off, we've got Farron and Adrian. They're building in Arlington C in Waller County. Yeah. We had our stakeout last Tuesday. It couldn't have gone better. Shout out to Jerry Butler. He is amazing. He has 47 years with Tilson.
47 years. Yeah, 47 years. That's true. Yeah, I can't say enough about Jerry.
You cannot find ananybody in the company who knows more than Jerry does. So he's a great.
Not just about stakeout, but like actual company history. So he's been through now 3. Well, no, he's been around for all 4 generations. He knew Jack Tilson. Obviously, he knew my grandfather, Jack Allard. Pretty sure he knew my dad pretty well. And now he's stuck with Chris and me. So here we are. But yeah, he's been through a lot with Tilson. So we're grateful for him and his wisdom.
We got Denise saying good morning, good afternoon from Pearland. We'll start the process in October to build a Canyon D in Washington County.
All
Awesome.
right. You're down to days, Denise. We're down to days.
Almost there. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it's September already.
Yeah.
We got Jen saying hi from Willis. My name is Jen Hart. I'm the new sales agent in the Willis Park, watching to learn all the things. So yeah, she's hanging out in our
John.
Republic Grand Ranch office. So welcome, Jen. All right, and now we have Alexander. Hi, I'm Alex from Katy. We're in the process of building a San Jacinto B in Waller County. The stakeout has been completed, and we're finalizing some minor details of a modified floor plan with John from the spring office. I will need additional Cat 5e cables for various locations in the house, including security cameras, speaker mounts, and wiring for other rooms, home theater. Additionally, I need flexible conduit to provide easy access for future services like Starlink. The camera cables will need to be routed to the storage room, not the attic. Can I bring in a third party to handle this additional scope, or can we include this in the quote through the electrical contractor that Tilson will be using for our build at the framing
You can
stage?
absolutely enlist a third party to do those things. Let John know up front. I mean, and the building superintendent will be involved in that as well. But yeah, they can absolutely do that. A great time to do that is actually as we're completing the framing portion, and then we move into a little bit of a lull where inspections are taking place. So we get the HVAC, the electrical, and the plumbing put in through the frame, and that's a great time. Basically, when the electrician is done with his or her portion, that's a great time. I mean, obviously, I have it set up before that, and you'll be in communication with your superintendent. But that's a great time for what we call structured wiring to happen. So, I mean, we can include that if you want to do that, but it sounds like you have a very detailed idea how you want to do it. And you probably have somebody that can handle that for you. I will say from experience, if you're going to run the flexible tubing, nothing less than 2-inch. Nothing less than 2-inch. I found there was a very proprietary TV, very flush mount thing that my wife wanted on our house, and it has this, one of a kind fitting, not HDMI, not anything else ever used by anybody else on the planet Earth, and it would not fit through the 1-inch or 1.5-inch conduit that I put in. Not Tilson's fault, Eric's fault. But yeah, so something to consider. Anyway, that was a weird deal. But yeah, you're welcome to do that, or have us give a quote on it. I mean, the Cat 5e stuff is simple. It sounds like you might need a structured wiring panel, maybe even a larger than normal structured wiring panel. I think we have a 8-port and a 16-port. We probably have access to a 24-port. But I know, I mean, my brother has, I think, 16 cameras alone on his system, which you gotta live in a place like that. Like, maybe we don't need to live there. I don't know. It's just me.
That feels like a lot.
And that's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying. And I lost my pocket knife in his attic somewhere. So I've narrowed it down to about 3,000 square feet. But my pocket.
So was that like the one place the cameras didn't cover, so you can't figure it out?
Yeah, it was in the attic, right? Like who's gonna cover that? So
I don't know where he put the other 16.
That's a fair point. You know what? I've never asked him that. Well, in that case, he probably stole my pocket knife. Now that I think about it. Anyway,
sounds like him.
We'll work through that. We'll work through it.
But
you got options, Alexander, for sure.
All right. First Man also had their final color and design appointment on Sunday with Ashley and David and Katie. They are amazing too. Excited for the next steps.
Yes.
Awesome. You did all the exciting pre-plan and stuff. So that's awesome.
Thanks for watching too.
We got Tracy saying, greetings from Cibolo. We are building a very custom Canyon A at Richland Chambers Reservoir. Shout out to Kim in the Bernie office.
Oh, very nice.
Thanks,
all
Tracy.
Right. Leaving the hill country, headed north.
Yeah, we've got Will saying hi, y'all. Hope you have a blessed week. Just wanted to say hi real quick. Well, thanks for stopping in, Will.
Appreciate you stopping in, buddy. Good to hear from you.
And Alex says thank you for all the advice.
Of course.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Well, you guys keep putting in all your questions and greetings and everything. And in the meantime, we're going to talk some about this Livingston.
Let's do it.
All right. So the Livingston plan has 4 exterior options, like a lot of our plans. So we've got, that traditional brick gable, kind of hip roof kind of thing going on the elevation A. We've got the elevation B, which is more of a craftsman style. Elevation C, which is our farmhouse elevation, and then D, which is our Texas ranch elevation, which is a combination of stone and board and bat with some rough sawn accents happening. And so this is the standard floor plan that comes. This family actually chose to do the A elevation. So this is the floor plan for the A. And it comes as a 3-bedroom plus a study with 2.5 baths. So it is a split bedroom plan front to back. So your master suite is on the rear and all the other bedrooms are on the front. And it does have, like I said, that nice study area up front that could easily be a 4th bedroom if you wanted to use it like that. It's already got the closet in it and everything. And then it has a nice powder bath there for guests right off of that study. And it's got a open concept kitchen that it just goes right into the family room area. And then you've got your dining area because we're finding most of our customers now don't want a formal dining room. So we combine it into that kitchen space. It comes, included with a very large island in that kitchen. So lots of workspace, lots of additional eating space there. And then it's got a walk-in corner pantry. Your master suite is very generous for the size home that this is, and actually has amazing his and hers walk-in closets, lots and lots of storage space. This is one of what we call our classic series plans, which means that the master comes standard with just that large oversized walk-in shower. But it also has the options to add that bathtub if you're one of the 50% of customers who just really want that bathtub in the master suite. But we've kind of changed up our portfolio. So some have it and some don't, because we're, like I said, we're finding 50-50 whether people want to have that bathtub in there or not. But yeah, just a great plan, a little over 2,100 square feet and just lots of space, lots of storage. I think this one's very well designed.
Well, one of the larger
back covered porch
family rooms in our portfolio. It's I think even 2,500 and 3,000 square foot houses that have 18 by 19, 18 by 20 square foot family rooms. Here you are, 18 by 18 foot 9. So it's very well in line with some of the largest floor plans that we have as far as family room space goes.
Yeah, just absolutely gorgeous. So this family, as all of our families, customized what they wanted to do with their home. So the first thing they did to fit the space is they actually reversed the floor plan. So everything you're looking at is on the other side of the house from what I showed you before. And then they needed a garage, and they did something interesting. And I'm not going to go into too much detail because I actually pulled a separate slide because it's sort of confusing what they did with if you don't have the visual, because they picked our alternate side load garage option, but then said we need the doors on the front. So we had to do some reconfiguring there. So I've got more detail about that on the other page. And part of that is changing up that utility room, adding some cabinets, kind of changing where that space happens on that option. And the other thing they did was decided, since that island was so large, they were going to go ahead and build the microwave into the island cabinetry. So that was the change that they made in their kitchen. They also decided on that rear porch that they wanted to do the cathedral ceiling with the rough sawn truss in the back. And that, when you add that option, it also does a cathedral ceiling in the family room so that you get the full benefit of that back porch view. So they made that change. They also did change the back of the home entirely. It would have been hardy as it came, but they went ahead and changed it out to full brick on the rear of the home. And then they just made some minor changes in their 2 bathrooms to the showers. So they added some niches to fit their soap bottles and shampoo and all of that in. And then they also went ahead and took the shower wall tile all the way to the ceiling. So just some very, very cool stuff that they did. And now this is that garage, so I can kind of show you. So on the left is that alternate side load garage option that I was talking about. So what happens when you do that is it does add in the utility room as well as a drop zone. But when they saw with the doors on the side. So the first thing they said, like I told you, is that they wanted the garage doors to be on the front. So we had to do a little reconfiguring there. And so kind of where you see that bump in on the original one, we had to pull it all the way forward, make it flush all the way across, and widen it just a little bit to make sure that that door was going to fit in place. And then the other thing that they did is this is their vacation home, kind of weekend home right now, and they do have a boat. So they needed the garage space to be deeper to accommodate that. So they got rid of the drop zone and just kind of shifted the utility room over to make that work out for them, because they don't need quite as much depth as they needed for the car, but they wanted more on the other side for the boat. So we had the space to go ahead and make that adjustment for them. All right, let me show you guys the
Check it out. Y'all drop your comments or questions
home.
into the chat. We'll answer all of them.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tilson Home Tours. My name is Rachel.
And I'm Peyton, and we're here to tour the Kimbrell Wu family's beautiful Livingston A home here in Burnet County. So why don't we go ahead and start talking about the exterior of this home.
So I know they did the elevation A, but they changed quite a few things on that for their exterior view.
Yes, so the elevation A would typically come with all brick, but they have incorporated some stone, which is a really nice touch. I feel like we don't see the brick stone combo very often, so I really love that about this home. So they did all the brick, all the stone, and then they added a attached garage to it too.
Yes, and then the exterior also, they flipped the floor plan around to have the garage on that side of the house instead of what it originally is on the plan. And I think it made it look very beautiful and bold outside.
It does. So why don't we go ahead and move into the kitchen. First we see this massive island in the standard plan, which you can have a bunch of friends and family over. Everyone's kind of a part of the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that they did the standard cabinets with the standard countertops. This granite, the lighter color goes very well with the darker cabinets and the light backsplash.
Yeah, the picket backsplash, we don't see that very often, so I think that's really pretty. And one thing I love about this kitchen is that they did incorporate the microwave in the island, which I think is a really neat touch.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of seamlessly flows right into the dining area.
Which this is a very, very good sized dining area, and I love all the natural light that comes from the windows with a view like this.
I know. Have it. You just want to sit here and eat breakfast every morning, look out these windows. It's just a really, really beautiful space.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a very good sized table in here too, and I feel there's plenty of space around it, I mean, for anything.
Yeah, for sure. So do you want to move into the family room?
Perfect, let's go.
Okay, so I have to point out, I feel like the first thing you see when you walk in here are these massive windows that show their back porch view.
Yes, they did the extended porch to family room option where it made a cathedral on both, and I think it opened this room up so large, makes it look like a massive space, and the windows to their view is incredible.
Brings in so much light. I also love these floors. I want to point these out. I love the light oak floors. I think they're so pretty. This space just feels really large, but it also feels like it's part of the kitchen and part of the dining room.
Yeah.
So you're kind of a part of that conversation. And so we have the tall ceilings, beautiful windows. It's just a really, really nice space.
Yeah, I think their family area to their kitchen flows very well. And I think it's plenty of room to entertain, and like you said, the light wood floors with the big windows just makes this space feel very large and inviting.
It does. Well, let's go check out that master bedroom.
All right, just a beautiful, beautiful home. So I did want to talk you through real quick the changes that they made on the exterior of the home. So like they were talking about, we did add that 2-car garage, and also, did reverse the plan again. So just remember, it's backwards from what we were showing you at first. And then the other changes that they made, like Peyton and Rachel were talking about, they did change out the front of the home. So above the little soldier row that we have, kind of that little belly band of brick or whatever you want to call it, they actually changed it from brick to stone just to add a little bit more visual interest to it. And then on the back, again, they did change it out to full brick. And then they also did a really cool thing where they actually added a brick half wall to kind of disguise their AC unit. So I thought that looks really nice from the front.
Yeah, that might have been an actual
probably an HOA requirement.
Yeah, an HOA requirement from Lookout Mountain. So,
but yeah, it's still pretty though. I like it. I think it.
And I have advanced the slide, but I've noticed it's not doing that now.
Oh, perfect.
I know.
Well, then let's switch to my version.
Terribly sorry.
Let me see if I can predict which one we were on. I did not, but it's okay. We'll find it.
2 more. That's it. Next one.
That's it. All right. So here are the photos of that actual front that you guys saw. So yeah, just beautiful. I love the stone and the brick that they chose. It's such a nice contrast, and I really like that style. So I'm glad to see them do that. And then you can see how they had that little brick surround. So yeah, just a gorgeous, gorgeous home.
And by the way, you nailed the term. It is a belly band. Crushed it.
Hey, I Googled it a lot. They had lots of different names for it. But
if only you had a resource you could go to find these things out.
Well, see, I have learned throughout the year that there are Tilson names, and then there are the rest of the world names.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But we transcend time at Tilson.
were just using the original words, not rebranded
Correct.
yet.
You
Got it. All right. So yeah, just a beautiful front exterior on the house. And then here is that gorgeous kitchen. Like I was talking about when we were looking at the floor plan, you have that huge island. I mean, there's just so much workspace in this kitchen, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So many cabinets, just everything. I love this kitchen. Like, it just looks so nice. And I do like the tile backsplash that they did. That is something we don't see, as often. So was excited to see that. And then you can also see the photo where they did put the microwave in the island itself. So they would have a different type of vent hood than what would come normal in the plan.
Beautiful.
And then very large dining area right there off the kitchen. They're seating 6. And as you saw when the girls were walking through the house, you could easily expand this to 8. And just look at the view, guys. Like,
Yeah.
How would you love to just have your cup of coffee, your bowl of cereal, and just stare at this all morning? Like, it's just amazing. Absolutely beautiful. So I love the way that our design and drafting team makes sure that all of our houses have all of these views to the back, because you picked the property first. So
exactly.
You want to make sure that you're getting to enjoy it. And then, similar story in the family room. You've got all these gorgeous windows. There's nice high ceilings. Just looks like, it's just such a big space. They keep talking about how it looks like a big space, and I almost did too. This is a very large room. So it doesn't just look like a big space. It is a big space. But you can see how that cathedral ceiling extends right out onto that big back porch, and just brings the outdoors in, and just absolutely gorgeous. And, I agree with what the ladies were saying in the video, that these were just great color choices to just make everything light and bright.
Yeah, bright, airy. Yeah. And the floors tied all in nicely, like very natural look, very clean.
Yeah, just very nice. But I do see that we have a few questions, so I'm going to go ahead and start pulling those up. All right. So let's see. We've got Misty checking in, saying hello from the San Jacinto XL in Hood County, getting all settled in. Have the video tour scheduled to be filmed on 11th of October. Awesome! I'm so excited. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be amazing. Then we've got Janet, who is working with Sochi out of McKinney. I just started working with her. She's a love, great lady to work with. Looking forward to see what the final product will be. Awesome.
Oh, that'd be great.
Glad to hear that.
Thanks, Janet.
We love her so much. Thanks so much for sharing. We've got Mike Gould building a San Gabriel. What do you think about the 9-foot ceilings, and what should header height be for the windows in your opinion? On your foundation, can you pick what side the tension rods can be on?
Okay, so I'll answer the second part first, and that is so he's talking about the post tension cables that we do, and they run all the way through, left to right and front to back, and the reality is not really. But the good news is, and because they're doing that based on cable spacing, so they want to get as many cables as they can based on the spacing. So in some cases, depending on offsets, you can get more cables one way or the other. In any event, those are covered up, so that there's like an underpinning process done after the fact, where both the what's called the dead ends and the live ends, so the starting point, the ending point of those cables are covered up. So that you don't see the result of that on the front of your foundation. So it's really up to the engineer to decide what's the best, use of the cables to provide the maximum amount of tensioning for the foundation performance. And then outside of that, it shouldn't be something that you see, other than you do see, you can't unsee what you have seen, right, Dawn? So
yeah,
most people can go pick out where the kind of patch goes over, but it's not something. By the time you get we get the backfill in and landscaping in, all that kind of stuff, they're very, very difficult to go find. So
it's one of those you have to know it's there to know it's there. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. All right, we've got Denise asking, what do you get in the Canyon D? What do you get with the alternate kitchen? It shows that it adds 16 square feet, but the cost I was quoted was quite a lot. So I thought it might be easiest to pull up our website to kind of show you.
Because it's more than just living area. It's a lot of cabinetry.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that happen. So let me. All right, so here is that Canyon D floor plan, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it better. And I'm going to turn on. So as you can see, you kind of the standard, how it comes is you've got this curved island, and it is 2 levels. And that this is the included kitchen, and then when you put on the alternate kitchen, what is going to happen is, like Eric was saying, quite a lot. So this island gets significantly larger, and becomes one flat solid surface. And then you have, all these extra cabinetry coming in, and you also do get a different cooktop as well.
Well, it goes from not just a different cooktop, like you go from, I believe, a 1-piece to a 2-piece.
Yes.
Yeah. So part of that pricing, the cabinet itself that houses the wall oven is a large part of that price. Obviously, the living area, and then you're going from a 1-piece range to a 2-piece cooktop, separate wall oven. It might be a microwave oven combo. I don't know for sure, instead of a microwave hood combo, but I'm
pretty sure it's a microwave oven combo.
Yeah. So that is an upgrade as well, going from a microwave hood to that. So it's a lot of stuff. It's more than just what you can see.
Yeah, it's more than just 16 square feet. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. All right. Let's see. We got Joseph saying, "Hi, I'm narrowing down our choices. Is there a model home video walkthroughs of the Refugio and the Tampico?" You are in luck, Joseph. You actually picked 2 of our models. So yes, the Tampico is a completed model in our Waco office. And that there is actually a video walkthrough of that one, as well as a actual virtual tour that you can guide yourself to, or you can go in person. The Refugio is one of our newest models that is in Angleton. We are currently in the process of finishing those up and getting them decorated. So we should be available to do tours later this month. And once all of that is situated, we'll get out there and do the video tours and do a live about it and show you all the stuff. But yeah, you can, depending upon what they're doing in the model at the time, you may be able to see it if you go down to Angleton, or you can wait until later in the month to see it. But yeah, we've got both of them for you. All right, we've got Ashley saying hello, watching from Central California, still planning for our lot in Republic Grand Ranch. When do you think you'll have a walkthrough of the Lone Star? So that is another situation. We are waiting on landscaping because we want to make sure it is such a beautiful lot and a beautiful home. I don't want my video tour spoiled by the current view out the window, because we are lots of dirt at the moment. So they are madly, quickly as possible working on that landscaping, and then we will have the video filmed and have everything up.
Probably around a month, actually, around a month.
Yeah. For last time I saw it, we had just torn it up, put it in the sprinkler system, and I think they're finally now at the point where we can actually start putting actual pretty things.
Pretty things. Pretty things.
All right. Jen is sharing that she loves cathedral ceilings. Yes, they are.
She's got one of the prettiest
amazing
ones there in Republic.
She does have the one in the Lone Star is definitely one of the prettiest ones we have. Let's see, Farron and Adrian, again, a quick question. What's your opinion? We opted for the attached garage. We know that it's about 50-50 on people doing that. Is it weird when you have rural property to have a concrete driveway for 10 or so feet, or just have the gravel drive go up to the garage? What do most people do? In a neighborhood, your driveway connects was you to the street, but our driveway is a quarter mile long in gravel.
Yeah. So I have it's a great question, Farron. I mean, my opinion is maybe a little over 1 car worth of apron. So I would call that an apron off of the garage, your flat work driveway. So maybe 20, 22 feet, something like that. Would be enough. And then from there, you can taper it down and have crushed rock or crushed limestone, crushed concrete back out to the county. I do not see a reason to spend that kind of money on 400 yards of concrete, but a 1 car length of apron, so that as guests come in, if it's been raining or something like that, they can pull up and exit their vehicles, be on concrete, and then not track rock into your house.
Good plan. We got Jason saying, "Hey guys, late to the party. I was still crying about the Notre Dame loss." So we have a rule on this show. We are all pretending that college football starts next week. That's
Oh no, we
that's how we're handling this situation.
We ran out of time, Jason. These things happen. A&M ain't never lost a game. We have run out of time before.
Oh, there you go.
That happened.
My school just like ran out of motivation. I don't know what. We lost the team during halftime. I don't know where they went.
Nah, that was
It was bad. It was really bad.
It's rough.
I turned it off. But anyway, Denise says, okay, that's what I was thinking, but just wanted confirmation on that Canyon kitchen. Awesome. We got Robin saying we have our stakeout appointment for Friday and hoping to have final plans ready for approval this week as well. What is the typical time frame between final approval and start of construction?
Okay, Robin. Well, it really does depend on exactly where you're building. So, a lot of times on final plans ready for approval, based on those, like once those are signed by everyone, most importantly y'all, then we can order, if we've got the stakeout and site evaluation, all that properly done, we can order our engineering foundation design. So as long as we're not waiting on that, that's when we'll order the foundation design. That does take a couple of weeks. So I typically tell people prepare for 30 to 45 days, another month and a half after you sign your plans. It could be longer than that if it's a city or if there's a architectural control committee we have to submit to, because we won't submit for engineering, property owner association approval, permitting until the owner has signed the set of plans. So it is kind of a domino that kicks off a lot of things. So again, I don't know exactly where or who all governing agencies are over that. So if you're in a city and or an ACC, you might push that more for like 60 days, just because they have timeframes where they only meet, once a month or once every 2 weeks, something like that. And if you just barely miss that window, then we got to wait till the next month till they review plans. But as fast as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. We got John sharing that it's his birthday today. He's 35. Stacy, happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, John. Thanks for spending it with us.
Yeah.
Should I sing to him? I think not.
No, I think they can copyright strike us. But that's the excuse we're going to go with, folks. And you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Peggy says, hi, I'm excited to see this video of a Livingston home. We love our Livingston Bee here in Fannin County. Been here 3 years in October. Oh, awesome. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning back in, Peggy.
We've got Ashley saying, I need to get into football when we move to Texas. My school, San Diego State, is not a football school.
Well, I mean, they have a football team. Plus, also, we have found that in California, they can join whatever conference they want to. You want to be part of the conference?
ACC, anyone?
Yeah.
Come on.
Are they the Aztecs? I think they're the Aztecs. Did I have that right? Let me know, Ashley. The San Diego State is the Aztecs. Somebody fact check me. I think it's the Aztecs.
Yeah. All right, awesome. And you'll also find
turns out our schools aren't football schools either, by the way.
But your high school will be. So turns out Friday
right.
is a really big deal too. So
Friday Night Lights is real.
Yes. And then Denise is saying, my HOA requires a tree survey before I can remove any trees that are in the way. Is this something that you can do? I'm not really sure what this is.
Oh, Denise. Yes, we can. I'm not Denising Denise. I'm Denising the overreach of private property control. It is one of the few things that drives me crazy. Anyway, so yes, a tree survey is exactly what it says it is. It is you are going to pay a surveyor to come out to your property and diagram and label and document every single tree that's on your property. I want to be sure I say that all correct. They're your trees on your property, and you are going to have to pay to document those. And what I would like to look into further, Denise, if you haven't already, typically when they're asking for those, it's because they're wanting some type of remediation for trees that are removed. Now, that's not necessarily, I've not read your restrictions. I could be projecting or assuming neither of those are right, but I wanted you to just raise the awareness a little bit.
We don't like surprises, so we like to tell you what to look for.
For example, if you're needing to remove we'll go extreme, a 24-inch live oak tree from the middle of where you want your house to be, in some cases, not all, but in some cases, the ACC will require, which is Architectural Control Committee or Homeowner Association, that you replace those. Obviously, you can't replace a 24-inch tree. They'll say, okay, you have to have 6 4-inch trees or 4 6-inch trees. Like you have to replace the caliper, the diameter. Is that the one? Yeah, circumference diameter. Thank you.
Yeah.
You have to replace that caliper with a certain number of trees, and they have a minimum diameter they require. It's not uncommon. It's ridiculous, but it's not uncommon. And anyway, if I recall, though, you're kind of the Chapel Hill, Brenham area. I don't recall anyone out there being like majorly psychotic about it, but people change rules every day. So I would read a little more into that and say kind of why are we doing a tree survey? Like you just want to know. Obviously, if it's 10, 20, 30 feet outside the perimeter of the foundation, we're not affecting anyway. They just want to know where it is. But yeah, I mean, we can locate trees and measure them, but a proper tree survey, if that's what they require, must be done by an RPLS, registered professional land surveyor, and it's not inexpensive. I mean, it's an ordeal, $2,000 to $4,000, and they come out there and tell you they measure every single tree. They measure exactly where it is off of 2 points, from the front property line, side property line, whatever, back property line, where it is, what the diameter is, what species it is. And then what we really want to know, though, is what's the HOA wanting to do with that information? Like, do you want those replaced? Do you just want to know what they are? Like, they may just say, okay, cool, you're taking out.
Vote on
Right,
whether you're
exactly.
taking it down. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
She's saying, I think they did not want me to clear the land. We bought the land because of the trees.
Yeah, and I get that. Look,
Yeah.
I understand. Like the whole point, some of the ugliest parts of some of these subdivisions that go in, or they go in, they buy this beautiful piece of property, 1,200 acres,
Clear
and then they
cut.
completely ace it. Yeah, they just
Mhm.
they harvest it, literally harvest it. They hire a logging company to come in. They get paid for all the trees that they're taking out, and then they start over and they plant trees, this big around and 2 in your front yard when you move in. Which I don't like that, but I also. I'm not down with. I mean, obviously, you bought the land for a reason. It's beautiful as trees. You're not going to go in there and just take them all out. But
yeah, you're taking them out for good reason. You don't need to be penalized. For doing
right? Because by the way, they'll ask for a tree survey, but they'll also impose upon you building lines, setback lines, right? For like you can only you might have a 2-acre lot, but you only have like a 50 by 100 foot area where you can locate your actual home. So like if the tree's got to go, it's got to go. So.
Anyway. What you want me to do here, guys?
Yeah, I will stay off of the private property rant for now.
Okay. All right. We got Kevin saying, I think you mentioned something about HOAs, missed it. Is the architectural approval process something you handle if there's an HOA for the land we are planning to buy?
Yes, we do. So if you'll get it, what we need is the information. It's typically, Kevin, either if it's still being developed, it'll be the developer, most likely, like in the case of Republic Grand Ranch or something like that. Like they have a designated person that we submit plans and colors and questions, all that kind of stuff to. If the other thing is if it's been handed over, so let's say the developer's done, they've sold the lots and they've moved on to their next big endeavor, they will have a lot of times a project management company. I'm sorry, property management company, not project, property management company that they have turned over control to, which is really just a central gathering place. Like,
right.
So that's where they have a contact there that you submit all the things to. They have somebody else there that their job is to collect all the POA dues, things like that. So I'm a proponent of property management companies, usually because they're not as emotional about it as a ever rotating architectural control committee might be.
Yeah. And Kevin, if the property you were looking at does have an HOA, get a copy of the HOA rules, the deed restrictions, all of that before you buy it, because by buying the property, you're agreeing to whatever those documents say. You don't get to argue with it afterwards.
No.
So just make sure, always, if you're buying property with an HOA, make sure that you read all of those documents before you buy it, because there's some interesting stuff in some of them.
And one last thing on that, I don't care if they tell you, oh, we don't usually worry about that. Oh,
we don't enforce that. Yeah.
If it's documented and that's recorded, you need to assume those are the rules. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
A title company is going to assume that any changing of the guard at the HOA, POA, or ACC is going to, like, the default is if it's in writing, that's where we're going off. No warm fuzzies, no vibes, no, oh, we're letting that slide right now. Do not get caught in that trap. Great advice.
Yeah, well, and also if you're like driving around, you're like, well, this house doesn't meet the requirements, and this house, they may have been grandfathered in. Like you don't know, whatever is in writing is what you
Yep.
have agreed to.
I've seen people get voted onto architectural control committees or property associations to get the house they want done, get the variance they needed, and then as soon as they got their house built, roll off the board. Like it's a real thing.
All right. Jason's saying, I know this has been answered before. At what point do I need to figure out electricity? Do I wait until I at least have the stakeout done? I'm trying to do as much as I can prior to the stakeout, but I'm not positive where the house will sit, and I don't want to stick some random pile in a pasture on a guess.
It's a fair point. So I would go ahead and make contact now. Make contact now, get the process going. If they'll meet you out there, if it's possible, and we'd love to do this, we would like to schedule our meeting out there with you with them. That'd be great. We're totally willing to do that. We're flexible that way. The reason I say go and get that started is sometimes what can happen is if you meet us at our site evaluation, stakeout appointment, we locate the house, we put where we think they might bring power in based on what we observe. They are under no obligation whatsoever to bring it that way. Yeah. So I would kind of negotiate it as a, hey, look, I'd love to have you guys input. I don't know what I'm doing. If you ever watched the show Columbo, I made this. If you haven't ever watched Columbo, go find it. I don't know if it's on Paramount or one of these other gazillions. I know you can't watch ESPN with DirecTV right now. So what else are you going to do with your life? But
Disney's going to fight. It's fine.
Yeah, man, I could choke Mickey Mouse right now.
They're anyway, just a small little company. It's fine.
He's a problem right now. He's a problem. So anyway, offer to meet them out there, but just play like, hey, I just need some help. I need some guidance. I've never done this before. Most of them, particularly in rural areas like you're talking about, the Lufkin, Angelina County area, they're more than willing to help you out there and say, hey, look, we typically bring property, power this way because this property's here, the power pole's here. If you can get that conversation started now, that might help. And if they say, no, we won't do it, because every co-op is a little bit different. They may say, we don't do anything until we see a stake out there for a T-pole, a temporary pole. So once that flag is out there, you call us, we'll come out there. And then they'll come out there and tell you to move it, which is whatever. But I'd start the conversation now, find out what their process is, say, hey, I'm new to this. I have no idea. I'm just looking for some guidance. And I mean, most of these co-ops we've dealt with are more than willing to help you out.
Awesome. Ashley,
few exceptions.
Ashley did confirm that they are the Aztecs. So.
Without Googling, I'll have y'all know.
Nice. She's also asking, in your experience with Texas Grand Ranch and Republic Grand Ranch, how successful have requests for exceptions to masonry requirements been when doing a farmhouse style elevation?
They're pretty tight on those, actually. They're pretty tight because it's a fairly by standards of these areas of build-ins. I think it's a 60% in Texas, and don't quote me on that, but I think it's 60% in Texas Grand Ranch. They're pretty. That's not a lot, If you think about four sides of a house, 60% is not that much. I think Republic is a little bit more lenient.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. Republic is a little bit more forgiving in the way that it's written, because Texas Grand Ranch, in their written documents, the only exception is for if you are building a Southern Living, which is an official trademarked licensed floor plan, that you can do it. In Republic Grand Ranch, they have written it as if it's in keeping with a Southern Living licensed plan. So if you can find something that looks like something that Southern Living put their stamp of approval on and want to sell to a builder for a ton of money, if you can argue that you're similar, you have a better chance there. So I've seen more of them in Republic Grand Ranch than I've seen in Texas Grand Ranch. Ash is also saying, in the 2.5 years I've been watching Tilson Tuesdays, I can confidently say it's not a real Tilson Tuesday until Eric tangents about private property and government overlords. Accurate.
Confirmed. Thank you, Ashley. And thank you for watching for all. And thank you for still watching for whatever reason.
Thanks for hanging that long.
Yeah. Hey, man. Slippery slope. Slippery slope. Well, it's just a masonry requirement. How bad could it be? That's all.
Okay. Well, let's look at the bedrooms in this beautiful home.
Dawn knows you don't poke the bear. Dawn knows better.
All right. Let's look
Keep
at
asking the
bedrooms
questions,
and
folks, up
y'all
in the
keep
chat. We'll
asking
answer every one of
questions.
them. Yeah.
Okay, this is a big master bedroom.
It is very big. You see we have the king size furniture in here, and it's not even touching any of the space over here. You can still add a dresser, a futon, whatever you want to fill the space with.
It's super nice. I love the colors they chose. It's very neutral, and I feel like it kind of creates the perfect backdrop for all their furniture and artwork, and it's just so pretty. And it kind of flows right into the master bathroom. So you want to go check it out?
Yep, let's go. Wow, this bathroom is beautiful.
It really is. You know, one thing that I see in this floor plan that I feel like we don't see very often, an upgrade they made, is taking that tile all the way to the ceiling.
I think it makes it look very grand when you walk in to see, you know, the glass shower frame, but then the tile going all the way to the
Yeah, it makes
ceiling.
everything feel a lot taller and lighter. And then you have two
Two separate closets. Great size on both of them. Walk in.
And I love that they added the frame to the mirror, which I feel like a lot of people don't know that we can do.
Yeah, I mean, it's the upgrade portion, but you know, they still have their standard granite and their standard cabinetry, so upgrading the frame makes that look very grand as
And
well.
it almost matches the Grey Wolf cabinets perfectly.
Yeah, it does.
This is a really nice big space, and that shower. The shower niche is a cool addition as well. You can kind of hide all your soap bottles, and that window coming in provides more natural light. So.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful design. I think everything in here is spaced well for this size space. Having the his and hers closet, the bathroom, you know, everything in here is very well spaced out and designed.
It looks awesome. Well, why don't we go look at those secondary bedrooms? Okay, so the first secondary bedroom we have here, again, a really large room, high ceilings. This is a really nice space to have friends and family come stay.
I mean, they have good sized furniture in here, a queen size bed, a nightstand, a dresser, and there's still so much space in here for guests. This is a very, very good sized secondary bedroom.
And it's very well lit. I feel like even if we turn the lights off, the light coming in through the window just kind of fills the space. So
Yeah,
this is
definitely.
really nice. And
Good
they
sized closet.
Yes, they do have a nice closet in here and that joint bathroom between the two rooms, which is really nice. So, want to go check out the other bedroom?
Yeah, let's go. Let's look at the secondary bathroom really quickly. Again, they used the granite countertops, the same cabinets that are fluid throughout the entire house, but I love that they have this whole extra row of cabinetry on the left over here.
Yeah, it looks really nice. Ceiling, the tile to the ceiling as well.
Yeah, it does look very nice as
And then
well.
it just kind of seamlessly flows into the secondary bedroom here. Another big room.
Yeah, similar size furniture in this room as the other one. Tons of room, lots of natural light, good sized closet, great design.
Place for people to come who are visiting. Like they said, this is their retirement or weekend home, so it just provides a place for friends and family to come visit and check out that amazing view on the back porch.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Both these rooms, the floor plan of the secondary bedrooms, the way it's all set up looks amazing. It feels large. Great use of space.
Perfect. Well, why don't we go check out that rear covered porch?
Let's
That's
go
my
look
favorite
at it.
spot.
All right, yeah, just beautiful, beautiful spaces. So yeah, very large master bedroom, like they were talking about. This is king size furniture, and you still have so much room in this space to walk around, and then you've got your two windows showing off your view, so bringing in all that natural light. And then, you know, going into that master bathroom, like I talked about at the outset, it's that large walk-in shower. And I agree that, you know, taking that all the way, taking the tile all the way to the ceiling, just adds so much to the space. And it's really a very affordable upgrade that just adds so much when you do that. And then, as they were pointing out, they went ahead and framed the mirrors, which are done in the same. It's done by the cabinet company. That's why it matches the cabinet colors so well. So the same people doing both. So yeah, just gorgeous, gorgeous space. And then, like they showed you the two walk-in closets, so everybody has their own space for their stuff. So I love that.
It's important. And
Yes.
I think I was measuring, it's almost 11 or 12 feet wide, the one across the back. It's massive.
Yeah, there's lots of hanging space in that closet. Just the way it's laid out is really nice. And then you've got the other bedrooms, and these are very, very close to the same size, so nobody's fighting that they got the bigger room. And like they were pointing out, this is queen size furniture, so lots of space, and they both have very nice, closets with the built-in shelving, and all of that. So just very, very nice. And then this one is that hallway bath where, again, they took, the tile all the way to the ceiling, added in the niche, and, did the framing around the mirror. So just a great, great space, and lots of cabinetry, lots of storage. I really love that about this house.
Yeah, very clean look. You're right. The tile to the ceiling is just such a subtle touch and so easy to do.
Yep. And then you don't have to worry about any moisture gathering at the top either. So it's a very, very good thing to do. Like I said, it adds so much for not that much extra money, all things considered. And then Denise is asking us, she's got a question real quick before we finish up the tour of the home. Can you put 2 smaller mirrors in the main in lieu of the 1 large mirror?
Of course.
Absolutely.
And if you do that, you can actually put some maybe wall sconces on there for lighting if you prefer.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you can do that. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's take a look at the rest of this house, and you'll keep putting in your questions.
Let's check it out.
And the part we've been waiting for, this back porch, gorgeous back porch with this amazing view out to the lake. I mean, it does not get better than this.
I love, this is almost the perfect setting to have the cathedral ceiling with the extended porch. I would stay out here all day long.
Truly.
It is beautiful. Their view of the lake, the tree. I mean, like David said when we walked in, it's like a tree house. When you look out the windows, you're level with the trees. It is beautiful out here.
It's so pretty. And something different that they did compared to the normal Livingston A elevation is that you would typically have like the hardy plank siding. They actually replaced that with brick, which I think complements everything else out here perfectly.
Yeah.
And they added this big fan, which is nice on hot summer Texas days. So.
Just to move around the humid heat.
Yeah, exactly. No, this is just a perfect place for entertaining and just enjoying a cup of coffee. So beautiful.
I love that they did this. I mean, like I said, when we were inside, the cathedral ceiling from the family room to the exterior porch looks grand on this home. It makes it feel large in there, and this view is to die for. So when you're entertaining guests, especially ones that live in the city, this is just like an oasis out here.
It really is. Well, I guess we'll go wrap up inside by the kitchen.
Sounds great. Okay, so before we wrap up, let's talk about a couple of areas we haven't gone into yet. Let's talk about the utility room first. What changes were made there?
So that utility room would typically have the utility space and then a drop zone. They actually removed the drop zone to make more room in the garage. You're next to the lake, they have a boat, they need more room for the boat, so it allowed them to be able to extend that garage a little bit further. And then the space off of the foyer, they have a study. You could turn that into whatever bedroom you needed it to be, but they use it as a study right there. So.
You know, and I love that even with them removing the drop zone, that utility room is still large. Mm-hmm. So, especially for them where it's a weekend home right now where they don't necessarily need that drop zone, it provided them with exactly what they needed, the area for the boat. Mm-hmm. And the study right off the foyer, when you walk in, that's an extra room. You can make it a bedroom. If you're not working anymore, and when it becomes their retirement home, they have an extra bedroom for their guests.
And they also have the powder bath off of that study room. And it has so much cabinetry in there, which I feel like you usually don't see in a powder room.
Typically, with our powder baths, we don't have all that cabinetry, and this one has the most beautiful built-ins just to store extra things, extra linens, extra towels, whatever you need in that powder bath. It's just there. Everyone loves extra storage.
Yeah. And so as we wrap up in here, thank you for walking through with me, and thank you to the Kimbrell Wu family for letting us come into their home. This is such a beautiful space. Glad we got to show off the Livingston floor plan. And thank you all for watching another episode of Tilson Home Tours, and we hope to one day soon make you a part of the Tilson family. Bye. Bye.
Yeah, there's that beautiful, beautiful back porch, and the view and the lake, and
and they'll have that forever because that is a constant level lake. That's the Colorado River of Lake LBJ. So the Colorado and the Llano come together, and that's kind of just north of where that happens, and it's very impressive view.
Yeah, just beautiful. And then you've got that Gorgeous, gorgeous porch. The fan's a great idea to have out in that space. The beautiful, rough sawn truss. Just lots and lots of space there that you get with that.
As a Southeast Texas boy, I got to give Rachel and Peyton a little ribbing about complaining about the humidity moving around in,
Yeah, I was gonna say they're not.
I will not be preached to by y'all about humidity, but I understand. I don't have hair either to contend with, so I get it. Everybody has their struggles.
That's fair, but yeah, I don't think that lake's given up as much humidity as you get on the coast.
Beautiful job though. Awesome house.
Yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous house. And then here is that utility room again, and they did add these cabinets in there, to give themselves some extra storage space. But the powder bath, that storage that they were showing off in there, that is included in the plan. And I think that this is such a great touch. This is one thing our design and drafting department are really, really good at. That if we've got like a little cubby, we're going to fill it. There's not going to be a lot of wasted space in the house. So the way this floor plan lays out, there was room to put this cabinetry in there, and it just looks absolutely gorgeous. It just gives you all that extra storage space. But yeah, I love that they do that. Also, if you do a 2-story home with us, they will do the same thing under the staircase. Like, you're getting every inch of space. If they can give it to you, they are giving it to you for storage. So I really like the way they do that. And then this is just, there's the views again, guys, because we know that's what you're doing it for. So thank you so much to the Kimbrell and Wu family for letting us come out and show off their home. And guys, if you're camera shy like they are, we can still do a tour of your house. You don't have to be the one that's on camera. So really appreciate them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, thank y'all for inviting us on this journey with you, and inviting us onto your property that you fell in love with, and letting us do this part of it. And yeah, like Don said, like, we want to show your house. If you've got something you want to show up but you don't want to be on camera, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. We have very capable people like Rachel and Peyton and others who have done this, that are more than willing to go out and make that happen. And so we just
we'll brag on you for you. It's
totally do that.
We love it. So. All right, you guys, this is good. I'm going to make this last call for questions. We do have one exciting thing coming up soon that I did want to talk about. So we do have our San Marcos grand. It's technically a grand reopening, because we have been in that location for a while, but we finished off the Polidoro model earlier in the year and got that finished, and then they moved into their other model while we renovated their sales office, and now their sales office is all done. They're moved back into sales office. We've done some updates on the San Gabriel model. Not the Guadalupe. My locations, the Guadalupe model that sits there next to the Polidoro, and we are just ready to celebrate with you guys. So that's going to be on the 14th from 11 to 2. And both Eric and I will be there. So we would love to meet you. We're going to have a construction seminar, and we're actually putting together tailgate kits to give for the first, believe it's 50 families who show up. So yeah, getting a little cooler and a bunch of other little like tailgating goodies. So hope that you guys can make it, but go ahead and scan that QR code, and you can.
We'd love to meet you out there, see you there, mix it up with other, not just us, but with other like-minded folks that are they're on the exact same journey you're on. They want to hear from you.
Oh, and also food trucks out there. We're feeding you too.
Oh, really? What we got? What do we have? Do we know?
I do not know, but I'll know next time. All I know is the name. Sorry, I haven't seen the menu. So
tune in. Yes, scan that QR code. We want to see you guys out there in San Marcos, Texas. We'll be ecstatic to see you out there. Ask questions of the San Marcos team, the construction team. Dawn and I will be out there. We'll have other people, probably no dignitaries from government agencies. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah, nobody's going to ask you to do a tree survey.
We've reached out to many, and no return calls. Anyway, so no, truly, we thank you guys so much for pages of this kind of stuff. I think we got another.
We do. Lisa is asking us our opinion on Quartz versus Granite. We originally picked Quartz, but now reading some of the reviews, are not sure if it's the best choice.
I will defer to Dawn and throw the QR code back up there, because people are scanning that thing. So put the QR code back up, and Dawn, what is your answer to that?
So really, honestly, as far as maintenance and all of that goes, they're really pretty close. So it really comes down to choosing between Quartz and Granite is how comfortable are you with variation in color. So a quartz is going to be very consistent. Whatever pattern you're seeing in the sample, that's how the pattern's going to look when it's installed. Granite, since it's more of a natural product, it's going to have more variations in it. So you got to be, if you're comfortable with that, go with granite. If you really want you want a predictable pattern, go with quartz. Because really, otherwise they're about the same as long as you take care of your stuff.
You nailed it there, which is the what you'll read about on the high. I actually have seen very few that would. So kudos to the granite people for getting on their game, finally fighting back at the narrative against granite. Because historically, what you see is, oh my gosh, granite is porous, which it is, and it can stain, it can leave bacteria in it. It's like, look, if you spill Kool-Aid on your countertop, on your floor, on your cabinet, on your furniture, and you let it sit there, it's probably going to stain it. If you treat it, conversely, like you paid a bunch of money for it and you immediately clean it up and do the things you need to do, you're probably going to be okay. So just, I would take it with a grain of salt when you read the negative reviews. Like if you treat your stuff like you paid a lot of money for it and you want it to last a long time, you're probably going to be okay. If you let it sit there for 5 days, if you butcher a chicken on your countertop and leave it there,
it's probably going to, guys, cutting boards, still use cutting boards. I know a lot of people think that with granite, I can just put my hot pan down. No, you need to trivet.
Yeah.
You should
trivet. You should think,
take care of your stuff. And it's just like in your bathroom. Like if you let it stay wet under your soap dispenser, it's going to get darker there. That's just take care of your stuff. Take care of your stuff. Yeah, just take care of your stuff.
Yes.
And you'll be fine. All right, we got more questions in this debate. Jessica's saying, my understanding is that granite has to be resealed every so often, but that's not the case with quartz. But on the flip side, quartz is less heat tolerant than granite from what I have read.
Okay, so your secondary comment is correct. Yes. Granite is the fourth hardest material. It's an igneous rock, which is fancy words for you A&M folks, volcanoes. So it's fourth hardest material known to man, somewhere in there. One of the harder ones, diamond. So it's tough. It's very tough, very resilient. But the gloss that you see is a result of polishing. It's not a sealed deal. So you can seal it. You don't have to seal it, but you can seal it. I do warn people that when you do seal it, depending on which one you buy, it can change the hue of the stone. Because depending on what color granite that you get. I mean, if you put oil, which is what sealant is to a degree, on stone, it's going to permeate and it would leave a ring. So it could change the color a little bit, just like sealing your grout can change the color of the grout. Again, not a huge deal for some people. For some people, it's mind blowing. Quartz, I mean, again, like Don said, if you take something out of the oven and you don't have anything within sight to put it on the stove. Like the stove is prepared to take that kind of heat. Do not set stuff directly on your countertops. You don't have to do that anymore. It's 2024. It's not necessary. So put it on a trivet or tray or a hot pad or something. Or if you got nothing prepared, ready to go, put it back on the stove. Yeah, on the stove. You'll be fine.
Absolutely.
So,
and then we've got Denise sharing that she went from granite to quartz in her current house and she loves her quartz. And Lisa's saying, she was worried about the heat. Yeah, just in general, don't put, because honestly, I've read about granite cracking, because if you hit the exact right spot in the stone where there was a natural flaw and you hit it, you could just you can't throw out your pot holders, guys. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. It was formed at extreme temperatures, but it's not sitting in your house at extreme temperature is the best way to say it. It's ambient of about 72, 74 degrees. And if you go from that to 400 in a second, it could cause issues, expansion.
Yeah.
So Don't do that. You'll be good to go. But you all y'all are very smart. Use your common sense, and y'all are. I have no worries at all. The customers I meet of ours take care of their stuff. They do a good job of that. So smart people. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Dawn, for setting this up. Thank you, Peyton and Rachel, for doing the tour. That was awesome. The Kimber Wu family for sharing your place with us. Doesn't end here, right? We got an Instagram page, Facebook page. We have a YouTube channel with copious amounts of content. We have a website open 24/7 with new home specialists on standby, ready to answer high-level questions. We got 12 design centers open 7 days a week, one of which we'll be doing a grand opening for very soon, as Don said. So we're here to hear from you, right? That's what we're here for. That's why we do these things, is to answer all your questions, get you comfortable with the process, make sure you have all of the pieces of the puzzle put together for you and your family. So we hope you got something out of today's day, and we genuinely soon hope to make you part of the Tilson family. We'll see y'all later.
Bye, everybody.